Morning. This looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me. Hey, good morning. It is what, a Wednesday? I think it's a Wednesday. Holy smokes. Yeah, it's a Wednesday, November 14th. We're getting pretty close to that CPI. Is it today? Probably today. It's a Wednesday, right? Oil inventories and all that kind of stuff. So I highly recommend that we look at CAD because of oil. We look at oil because of oil inventories. But then if we're going to do commodities, we should look at CAD and Kiwi and Aussie, right? All of them. And then what? Dollar pairs, yen pairs, maybe look at some gold. Other than that, there's nothing much to do. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome everybody to the Forex.Today YouTube channel. Please subscribe, please like, and if you're watching a recording of this, please comment. But also, hey, if you're watching a recording, if you actually do subscribe and you click on the little bell thing, then when I hit stream, you will be notified and invited directly into the live webinar. So give that whole subscribe thing a click, right? All right. Hey, my name is Wayne McDonald. I am the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. I've been trading currencies for 14, 15 years, something like that. So I've learned a lot of things along the way, and I'm here to share them with you. Forex.Today and Traders Way wants you to become a profitable, successful long-term trader. Or how about profitable and successful for the long term? And they'd like to earn your loyalty and respect through these webinars, and one day be the prime broker for your successful Forex trading business. So please visit TradersWay.com and open up a demo account like now. Pay it back, bro. Pay it back. So, we got some trading to do today. Let's get right into it. This is where we left off yesterday. So, yesterday, pound yen went up. Cool. Now, the plan for today was to catch a dip somewhere between the central pivot point and M2. You can see I have it here. That's actually kind of funny. Look at that. I have it right here because there wasn't anything to the right yet. See? And what an amazing coincidence. It came down to M2 and then bounced. Does anybody think that that's a random coincidence? One question about who I use them. It's my trading rig, bro. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. This is pound yen. Pound yen daily pivots. Okay. Pound yen random pivots. So yesterday we were doing the webinar in here. This kind of space here, okay? And I said the plan was somewhere in the pink zone to take your profit, and then let it come back and buy it again. And I drew this little area here and all this kind of stuff. And anyways, the plan is for it to now head up to here. Cool. But see, we did this yesterday. Isn't that interesting? Oh my God, that's good coffee today. So anyways, these are daily pivots, and that's simply the trade plan from yesterday. So we don't know if it's working yet, but, you know, it's bouncing in the right places. Pounding in all the right places. So we'll see what happens. That's good, right? Again, we were talking here, coming down here, coming up here. Good, 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 good. Fine, 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 fine. What about this other plan? Well, we have a lot going on here. We talked about, oh, I know what we talked about. We used these triangles. I asked you to determine whether you believe this high is higher than this previous high. And if so, you'd be planning on something like a higher low. Where would you expect the bounce? And we did a lot of things. I said, look, maybe it'll be this old high. Maybe it'll be this pivot. Maybe it'll be a fib, all that kind of stuff. So I drew all these things, drew all these lines. And if you were a bull, one of these things would likely act as support. You need to decide which one. And more importantly, sort of be there at the right time, right? Like to be there, let's say maybe London Open, like this, or New York close, like that kind of stuff, right? So anyway, so what actually did happen? Let's go see. Okay, it didn't bounce off this area on the way down, but in a 1, 2, 3 fashion. You know what? Let me just move this now. This is Aussie. In a 1, 2, 3 fashion, it's using that same level. It looks like, anyways. Let's do it this way, right? Okay, that's what it looks like to me, and it's using this as the role reversal. Cool. Now, what about the bottom? Like the retracement. Did it use the pivot? Did it use the monthly pivot? Did it use the weekly pivot, or did it use the fib? Oh, it used the 3A2 Fibonacci retracement. Cool. Now, that's could be random once again, but it makes me think that somebody, in fact, a lot of people were paying attention to that 382 Fibonacci retracement. And notice, because it's not like they said, oh, about 40% retracement or about 38% retracement. They said exactly 38.2%. So it may confirm to you that this market is acting logical, like it's an intelligent market, because there are trade plans behind these moves. There's real traders, that it may not be a random walk. Somebody was paying attention to that. Okay. Now you can see bears sold the reverse fib. Okay. And that's where they're supposed to do it too. So now you got to be careful, because we're in the middle of fib wars. So you should have already made your move. Okay. And then, so these are weekly pivots and monthly pivots. Of course, you could, like I showed you yesterday on the pound yen, you could take this further, drop into a daily pivot, and set those trade plans up for day trading. Hey, Tom says, hey, Wayne, much love from Germany. Whoop, whoop. You do a great stream. Much appreciated. Thank you, sir. Hey, anything for you, Tommy boy. Reynolds says, hey, what template is that bold lines around your pivot? All right, if you want my MT4 chart templates, indicators, EAs, profiles, all of that, it's in the description. It's in the link is in the description. Okay, look down in the description, and it says, if you want all my MT4 templates and charts and profiles and indicators, click the link. So go to charts.fxbootcamp.com. There you go. It's all yours for free. couple other little sweet treats in there as well. So anyways, that's how you kind of break it down. Nobody knows if this is going to go up or go down, but it starts with the trade plan, right? Remember, we did this live during non-farm payrolls. 3,000 people saw me set this up, 1, 2, 3. And then I went 450 pips up and hit the target. Well, almost hit the target. We missed the target. It went up 450 pips and we missed the target by 12 pips. There's the target. There's the stop. Anyways, we'll see what goes now. So this is now sort of catching the after effects, you know. And another thing to be concerned with, we hit the target for the month of November so early that this has the potential to totally collapse. So don't get all excited about this move that we had planned out. This certainly could come all the way back here because we hit the November target like in the first week. So what the heck are we supposed to do the rest of the month? Flail. Okay. Going back to the euro yen here, we discussed how to put together a potential reversal. The first key to the whole thing is knowing that this price area is a place where euro yen could potentially reverse, and that you couldn't possibly miss it if you were wanting it to reverse, right? So this goes into sort of the rules of engagement of swing trading and price action and a few other things that sets up the counter trend trade. A lot of little minor finesse things going on here, but the bottom line is this is the area you would expect it to bounce if it was going to bounce. Not that it's going to bounce, you don't know that, but if you're a bull and you're like, man, I need to get back in on this, that would be the price area. So go in a little closer. Let me see if I can move this. Okay, so it drops into there, okay, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting. What I have is a bounce, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. So at what point do you sort of get a higher low, higher high scenario? And that's probably this area, okay? Would you agree that a 4-hour basically a 4-hour rally could possibly be the thing you were looking for in this green zone? Like, you know, you're looking for a reversal in the green zone, but you don't know quite exactly what you're looking for. You're just looking for evidence of a reversal, right? Of a rally at a take profit zone. So would you count this up for 4 or 5 or 6 hours, potentially that move? Yeah, I think so. And here we go, a higher high and higher low and all that kind of stuff. We already know where the resistance is going to be, and so we've already hit that now. That was all pre-marked out. We knew this was going to be a challenge. This is where bears would sell. Is that right, Ian? Yeah, stupid programmer, huh? James, yeah. James, that's just the rules of the world, man. Delbear says it didn't like my iCloud email. No, it has nothing to do with your iCloud email doesn't like it. All right. So anyways, this is where bears live. This is where bulls live. What do you want to do now? I don't have a lot of trade plans where you know, wait for everyone to make their move and then stand in the middle. So that's up to you, bro. This is where maybe daily pivots really help and stuff like that. So I guess if you're a bull, you're going to buy this and try to drive it up. But what I'm trying to teach you over and over and over and over again is you should expect a reversal here, as we talked about yesterday. Look for evidence of the reversal and enter one of them, meaning higher high, higher low, buy, higher high, higher low, buy. You know, I didn't say wait for it to hit here. Completely reverse, go up to the bear zone, completely be respected, and then enter a trade in the middle. Oh. Oh, the chat? What? I don't know what's going on that one. Let's see if I can fix that. This looks like a good job for me. So everybody just follow me. So we little. Huh. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah. I don't know why it's doing that. Click the blue arrow. I get it, but you don't understand that this isn't actually the chat. I'm pulling the chat from the API, so there isn't anything for me to chat. Anyways, but I can see the updated chat. I don't know why the one being displayed in the webinar isn't updating, but anyways. You guys are so funny. So funny. Say something. All right. Yeah, I don't want to do cat yen quite yet. Michelle. Yeah, you should already be done. So I gave you the advice, what, a week ago, that you should just take your profit and be done for the month. So yeah, take 3 weeks off. How crazy is that, right? That you're like, yeah, easy buy, hit your target, take your profit. So you're like, well, Wayne, I can't afford to take a whole month off. Well, guess what? You would have made the same amount of money if you took the last week off. You wouldn't be any richer. Unless, you, of course, you took more risks, right? Oh, Vienna. Beautiful. Love to visit Vienna. Hey, let me ask you a question. Does the royal family still host like a waltzing festival once a year where people dress up and go to the castle and waltz? Does that still happen? So anyways, here's the maximum profit, and here we're still here. Going on to the weekly swing basis, though, you see this? This was your buy zone on Monday, which means your new target is up here, and that could be your secondary trade plan. But up here is sort of you've been pushed, onto the ice flows, right? You're out there on your own. So the weekly goal, I don't know, 1,000. This looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause in a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me. I guess we did this one. That's beast. And then look at this one. It looks pretty neutral, doesn't it? Neutral. We're in the neutral zone. We're in the friend zone, everybody. Right on, Silva. Excuse me. I've been working so hard, guys. I've been working so hard. I totally want to quit. No, I don't want to quit. I need a break, but I don't have time. I got a whole bunch of real estate development stuff to do today. All right. Tired, man. That's all I'm saying. I'm tired. Good thing trading's been nice. Let's go into here. Thank you. This looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me because we need a controversy. All right, so here's our trade plan here. If it makes a higher high, it's going to slam into this resistance. Then it's going to make a higher low. And, well, it didn't do any of that. No trade. Walk away, walk away. Seems like there should be a song called Walk Away. Walk away, walk away, walk away. Okay. Oh, look at this trade plan. Ha, ha. What? In your face. Look at that, huh? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, this is where it would reverse. Nice. So you see how I have an up, a down, and an up? So what actually happened, very similar. Went a little higher, didn't go to this level of resistance, went to that level of resistance. Okay, great. And then what did it do? It came down to the support that I had predicted. So now, based on that, it should go up to, I'd say at least there, but probably there. Yeah, no, I have a ton. I don't take a lot of C vitamins. I take a lot of B. Lots. I have been taking B vitamins for 20 years. Right around the time I started meditating. So that's really both, so B vitamins help your blood carry more oxygen, and oxygen is food for your brain. And meditation is sort of like exercise and stretching and Tai Chi for your cognitive mind. Oh, Delberry. Oh, my adrenals are beautiful. You should see my adrenals. Honey, put your adrenals away. Not here, baby, not here. What? I just got them fixed. COQ10 is not. Look into Quasine. Oh, but a very helpful stimulant. Especially, okay. Quazo 12, huh? All right. Well, vitamin D, you just walk outside, which I don't do enough. I go outside to smoke cigars. That counts. All right, come on. There's the bounce I wanted a long time ago. Never got it, not interested, taking a pass. But we did know that this was a place for bears to sell, right? On a monthly basis. And that trade plan is represented here. So if you are a bear, first of all, you're 12 hours late, but you should be thinking about something like that if you're a bear. Okay? This looks like a good job for me, so everybody just follow me because we need a little controversy. So so this is what we highlighted this yesterday, that this was going to be your sell zone. So it seems pretty obvious that lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, consolidation, lower low. Okay. So we're still lower than this, so you should still be a bear. But what would a bull do here? A bull, first of all, would want to buy it off this pivot, maybe? Really? Maybe, I guess. I've walked away. It needs to prove to me that it's investable, right? Sort of like a startup that's really promising, but you're like, dude, well, where's your clients? Where's your revenue? Who's using your product? Oh, nobody. Well, why don't you go get some customers to come back before you ask me for money? Where's your cash flow? We don't have cash flow. We only have cash burn. Well, go burn someone else's cash. And then come find me if you're smart enough to get clients. All right. So anyways, would a bull buy in here? I don't know. I wouldn't. But maybe. Right? Because they're thinking here to here. But see, I wouldn't fib a lower high. See what I mean? So if I were a bull, first of all, this was really obvious. This was a whole day's worth of work. lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 6 trades there, 6 day trades. Actually, Joe, I worked for a company many years ago. They had something like 800 non-paying customers. They were working out of a 2-bedroom apartment in San Francisco in the Russian district. And by apartment, I mean near slum. Like you open the door and you're walking upstairs and the lights in the hallway aren't even on. All right. I'm like, what? So I go into this apartment and they have desks everywhere and a bunch of programmers and they all speak Russian. And one guy, and he's like, well, we got 800 happy customers. So we sent them an email and we're like, you know, you need to pay $500 if you want to keep using it. And out of 800, none signed up. So they sent another email and another email, and finally a threatening email like, we are going to close your account down unless you pay $500. And like 20 people paid the $500. Right? I'm like, oh, cool. Well, I'll tell you what. I want a piece of the company and I want a piece of the money coming in. And don't worry about the fact that you don't have any money. Don't worry about the fact that all your credit cards are maxed out. Pay no attention to the, don't worry about the fact you have no money for advertising. I just need phones. So I want right? For all the money coming in, I want some of that for my pocket. And then I'm going to hire staff. And for all their sales, I want some of that money to go into my pocket. And the more I sell, the more equity I own in your company. And I'll start for free. No salary. Right? Don't worry about it. No salary. I'll just live off the sales. 2 years later, we were doing $1 million a month. Still not advertising. $1 million a month. Ciao. So I'm like, dropped the mic, walked away with all my stock. Boom. The rest is up to you. Have fun. Good luck. Don't F it up. All right, so, I guess we got to do crude. I guess that's where we are, right? It's Wednesday, right? So tired, guys. I apologize. All right, so I keep identifying. It's so tragic, right? It's so tragic. It's so tragic. I keep identifying places where it's going to bounce. Remember, I gave up way up here. Remember this? Way up here. I gave up. I'm like, I'm not looking for bounces anymore. But I will identify support and resistance. So way back up here was my Alamo. Now, I hope that is also a learning experience. Okay? Like right here, I'm like, I'm not looking to buy this anymore. I might be a bull, but I'm not looking to buy it anymore. That's important, isn't it? And then from there, like on Monday, I guess it was, so it's Wednesday now, right? So 48 hours ago, I said, well, if I was a bear and I was going to sell it, this is plan A and this is plan B. How do you feel about that? Basically selling at 82. 82, yeah, that'd be great. 62. And we're at 56. What do you think about that? It's important, isn't it? Well, that's how I survive, Joe. I'm more worried, over the years, I've had some pretty, rough spankings, if you will. And I think I describe it in my book where that I'm battle scarred, right? I'm the tough son of a gun, scars all over his face and body, that just learned to not die. Okay? So my survival skill is to have learned to simply, try to see reality. So under my current analysis of macroeconomics, and bear in mind I could be wrong, and I know that, and at some point I'm going to have to maybe double down and do some new research or something, right? But I have a macro bias, not a technical bias. Okay, so I have a macro bias, and it's being manipulated a bit by geopolitics. Okay, and you're going to see this a lot with oil, and a lot less with like soybean meal futures, right? Or Kansas City wheat versus Chicago wheat. You're going to see, there's still like soybeans actually are a political weapon. But there's a lot more going on with oil, with crude oil and Brent, okay? It truly is a political weapon. We saw that even in the 70s where it flat out was a weapon, okay? So this is impacted by things like, we're going to embargo Iran. So now Iran has to pump a whole bunch of oil, put in a bunch of barrels, move it to Turkey, and somehow have the Turks sell it for them, right? Which is all totally illegal, and of course doesn't happen. But then what? It also gave them a license to pump as much oil as they could suck out of the ground last month, right? But also it gave everyone else in OPEC, let's say, the license to say, well, we're going to pump a little bit more oil than usual because we're worried about the lack of oil from the Iran embargo that the United States created. Which, so now everyone's pumping all this oil. Iran is pumping as much oil as they possibly could, right? And then everyone else was pumping oil, and so now maybe we have too much oil. I have to be careful of this because maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe global macroeconomics is hurting. And when you look at the European data, I keep going, like, it's really disappointing that the Europeans don't or have not had the positive impact that they should have had by now. Right? Europe is now in a lost decade like Japan. Right? You see what I mean? Like, I guess because they have a union of separate countries, all with their own fiscal policy and all their political policies and right, and all that kind of stuff. And then they got this weird central bank, which is not quite set up quite right. Maybe it's so bad that it can't be fixed. I don't know. But I think that's the drag on the global economy right now. So maybe I need to shift gears here. I won't do that now. I will certainly have shifted gears by January 1st. Okay, so I have to just be patient at this point. Okay, and that helps me survive. It might not be right, but it's better than being wrong and blowing up my trading account. Roger's like, Europe is self-sustaining. Maybe. That's an interesting point, Roger. But then you get, like the, socialist, how would you say it? Machiavelli sort of postulating. So you close your borders, which, you can see that that's where, Brexit was a lot about closing the borders. So let's say Western Europe closes the borders and trades amongst itself as a European Union. And not with the rest of the world, and not bring stuff in from China. When you go to a place like Switzerland, you're like, thank goodness. Right? You're like, thank goodness, this is the last, you don't want to spoil this place with cheap Chinese imports, right? It's so beautiful, right? Like, you don't want to hike to the top of a mountain in Nepal and get to this beautiful Buddhist temple, and the whole thing is lit by cheap Chinese solar candles everywhere. You're like, where's the buttermilk candles? We're like, oh, well, we went to LED. You're like, oh, dang it. I don't want Chinese LEDs in my Nepalese Buddhist temple. I want the real thing. So, anyway, so maybe we get to a place like this. Maybe this is where the world shifts, where I hope it doesn't, but, what if we get to the point where, look, just pure capitalism isn't what the world wants. We don't want more productivity. We want to work less. We want to just be productive enough. Well, that's really great if you live like in a place like Switzerland, where you're just like, all right, let's milk some cows, eat some cheese, and everybody's happy. There's a lot of places in the world where you need productivity because it sucks. The ground sucks. The environment sucks. Everything sucks. So you're like, we need more productivity, right? So, but maybe we get to a point where we do want to live in self-fulfilling societies with closed borders and just trade with our neighbors and stuff. But that goes back to Machiavelli. Like, and then what ends up happening if you study Machiavelli's time of Italy? Let's say like the Medici period. What happens with these closed borders is, after a while, trade runs into constraints. So like Switzerland has lots of cheese and cuckoo clocks, but maybe they do want cheap folding beach chairs, right? But they don't import from China, right? So they're like, well, what do we do now? Well, inevitably, what history has shown us is, if you can't expand your economy through trade, because everyone's got their borders closed, well, you just knock down your neighbor's border and invade and take over their land and their economy, and now you've expanded trade through war. So go back and look at ancient China as well, and you'll see very similar things where, to expand your resources and to fill your void of what you don't have and trade what you have excess, right? If you can't do it through peaceful trade, you end up just attacking your neighbor and then taking over that. So history, I would say, right, with Roger, I'd say history would say open borders is better, because you can prove it where if I have an absolute advantage or a relative advantage over you doing one thing and you doing something else for another thing, we're both better off by trading. So even if I can make 10 times more cars than you, or let's say motorcycles, if I can make 10 times more the number of motorcycles than you, but you can make motorcycles cheaper than I can per unit, well, maybe it's just better for me to buy more of your motorcycles, right? And in exchange, I'll give you DVD players or something. But you can prove it out mathematically that if we actually just knock down our borders and trade what you do well, what you do better than me for the stuff that I do better than you, then you're better off and I'm better off and everybody's happy. Yeah, some people in my economy will be displaced because we're no longer making the same number of motorcycles. Now, I can still make 10 times more motorcycles than you, but you can do it cheaper. So let's say some of my motorcycle business I just give to you. I have to lay off a bunch of motorcycle workers, but they can go do something else, like make DVD players, right? So on the long run, everybody's way better off with trade. And besides, I'm not going to invade your land and kill you and take over your economy because you make some freaking nice motorcycles, right? Plus, you're buying all my DVDs, all my DVD players, so I'm not going to kill you. And so inevitably, everyone's better off and everybody's happier. And there's less war because now we have enough to eat and live in a decent house and send our children to school. And we have roads that you can actually drive on. And that's how capitalism is supposed to work. The problem with capitalism in our world is people say, oh, look at the poor bunny rabbit being eaten by the fox. Maybe we should kill all the foxes because that's just really cruel for the little bunny rabbit to be eaten by the fox. It's just not fair. So you kill all the foxes and then they're like, damn it, there's rabbits everywhere. They're killing all our food and they're eating everything. We're all going to starve. Well, that's your stupid. You just let the fox eat the rabbit. Nobody said it was supposed to be fair. Some people are smart, some people are dumb. Some people are tall, some people are small. We're all different. What's wrong with being different? As long as everyone has a fair playing field, as long as everybody has the same access. Gee whiz. I mean, so we all live in this world of everybody's got to be a big hug, and it's just going to end up being a bunch of dead rabbits living in an empty field with no grass. Anyways, Roger, gee whiz, brings up his socialist stuff. Sorry. All right, sorry. So Roger's like, well, maybe Europe just wants to trade with itself. Great. Like that hasn't been tried before. Gee whiz. And it sucks, by the way. It's the dumbest idea ever, in my humble opinion. Remember, if I say my humble opinion, I'm allowed to say anything, right? Closing borders. Gee whiz. There's more nations who don't want to use the petrodollar. Are you saying good off? Yeah. All right. So, anyways, holy smokes. Where do you guys are getting me going? Fired up. So anyways, oil hasn't gone up yet. Maybe it'll go up there. Still not interested. So when do you back? I guess the real question is when do I admit I'm wrong? I'm not quite yet. Not quite yet. And I have plans for later. Remember, I plan trades months in advance. But that's pretty dramatic. It is very dramatic. Probably going to have to make decisions soon. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know on this one. I suppose it's better to be out than be wrong. It's sort of right that Roger's like, yeah, just the horizon. Yeah. So I think you can tell I studied 2,000 years of economic history. I wrote a paper about how the best thing that ever happened to Europe, ever, the best thing that ever happened to Europe was the plague. Oh, that's just amazing. Look at this on a daily basis. That's just amazing. So anyways, I hope you took the short. So if you recall, I think we were looking for a bounce about here and a bounce about there, and then we get the new pivots. So I was a buyer here, wanting to be a buyer here, and then there's my Alamo where no more. So if anything, I hope you learned the survival technique. Abasi once says, what indicators are you using? If you look in the description below the video, there's a link that says, download all my indicators and chart templates for free. Click that link. So Peter Shepard said, I heard Sunday that oil will probably spike and blah, 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 blah. All right, don't listen to any of that. First of all, do your analysis. Go to the OPEC website, go to the EIA website. The link does work. Carlos, that's where you're wrong. Isn't that funny? Carlos, you're wrong. It does work. So go to the EIA website, which is the counterpart to the OPEC website. Read both of their analyses and form opinions. And then decide if you're a bull or a bear, and then simply look for the proper prices. And, you know, now once you have all that done, you just have to wait and get your timing right. So right? So don't say things like oil will probably, you know, bounce in 2019. Don't say stuff like that. It just doesn't sound professional. So instead, you should say, well, I reviewed, you know, OPEC, and I've reviewed the EIA websites, and I've looked at this, you know, and I've done supply side and demand side analysis, and I believe in 2019 oil prices will rebound from this drop, and that this was artificially created. Okay, great. And based on that, you're identifying levels using technical analysis in which you would consider buying. Currently, you would buy it at blah, blah, blah price, like 55.25. By the way, somebody here said 55.20. Do you remember that? Maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago? And I'm like, 55.20, I don't see why. Well, now I see it. But, you know, and then you look for those patterns and you carry it out. Venezuela, huh? Yeah. Guy said, you said 55? I thought somebody said like 55.20 or something like very, very specific. But I'll give it to you, Guy. Kavika said, get Wayne's book. Hey, Kavika, if you bought the book, would you please leave an Amazon.com review? There hasn't been very many in the last few years, but I know people are buying it, but they're just not leaving reviews. Yeah, okay, Guy got it then. Yeah, right on. Good job, Guy. I mean, we're at this point, so you can see what Guy was looking at. It was just hard for me under those market conditions. I think we were still way up here. So that's really nice. I mean, what else did we have? What else could it be? 618 Fibonacci retracement and stuff. Okay. Interesting. It's just really interesting. So, for example, if you were a bull, whoever said, I already forgot, whoever said that they think oil is going to go up in 2019, all this kind of stuff. Well, you can say, well, based on your analysis, you're still a bull. That you're really interested in this 55 area. It's a psychologically important number. I mean, that doesn't hurt. It's not that important, but it doesn't hurt. And you're like, and we've had a 618 Fibonacci retracement. Okay? And now you're going to look for reversal patterns. And it's the same thing I said here and here and here and here. But you found a line in which you may consider buying. So there's the old support. So that's going to be the old resistance. So now we need to look for things like this. Okay? So next week, maybe we're buyers again. But that is the survival technique that I've learned. Okay? Is where I say, wow, looks like I was wrong. I was a bull this whole time. Never got opportunities to buy. And then at some point, I just walked away because I just didn't like the market conditions. And then it kept falling without me. But again, it's better than losing money. And now I'm still looking for reversal patterns at logical prices, and then looking for higher high, higher low scenarios. So double bottom 1, 2, 3 scenarios to confirm, because I don't want to be the first one in a reversal. I don't have nothing to prove to anybody. I would like to see it reverse and then buy a dip. And if I can get all that, let's say by next week, then cool. You see what I mean? And that's my survival skill. And if I'm wrong again, it'll just keep falling without me. Well, it's better than losing money. Remember, my number one goal isn't to make money. My number one goal is to not lose money. And if I'm a bull when market conditions are bearish, it's better for me to just be out than to be trying to get in. Okay? This looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me because we need a little controversy. So we got, what do we got coming up? CPI, right? I didn't even look. I just know by the date. A Wednesday, middle of the month, it's CPI, right? Pretty soon you'll have all your news reports you just know they're on the calendar. Yeah, Joe. Well, the thing is you want consistency in your trading, and being a bull and a bear is not going to get that to you. So remember, you have to look at your trading, not from what you're doing today, but over the course of months. Okay. CPI 0.2. Cool. Slightly better than last month. This looks like a job for me, so everybody just move. So that's core. Cool. Weekly earnings. Okay, that's good. Cool. That's pretty good. 0.2 is really good. All right. I like that. And you can see the world is like, oh, that's really good news. The dollar weakens, which is a good news thing. That's not the trade plan we have set up. So don't get all freaked out. That's not the trade plan. Now, on a macro level, you could say that's good news. On the longer term, this supports the idea of a weak dollar. Americans are seeing inflation. By the way, oil dropped by like 50%, right? Well, not 50%, but by 25%. So we're, right? CPI should be falling. But anyways, so if things are getting expensive here, maybe we should start buying foreign goods. You see what I mean? The Fed might stop hiking. Can we talk about that a little bit? We haven't talked about that in a long time. Okay? No, Luis, I tend to have biases, not particular pairs, but on currencies. Oh my God, Luis, you need to I have like 30 or 40 hours of training videos at FX Bootcamp. And if you go on YouTube, I have 4,000 videos, most of which probably answers that question. There's even training courses on YouTube, like how to trade moving averages and stuff. They're all there, Luis. Okay. I want you to go in simple and find that information, because it's just going to open up a whole world. You're like there's thousands of videos, right? I want you to, right? Like try YouTube, FX Bootcamp, or go to the YouTube channel for FX Bootcamp. Go through all the videos on the Trader's Way YouTube channel. Go through all the videos on the Forex.Today YouTube channel. There's tons of resources especially about simple things like moving average crossovers, which ones work. So like I know on I think about 10 years ago, I did a 4-video series on, it's on FX Bootcamp's YouTube channel, and I did it for FXCM. And I think it's 4 videos, and it's like lagging indicators like moving averages and oscillators and leading indicators like pivots and price action or something like that. But right? But no, you don't have to figure it out, Mango. Right? Try that. Just go to that one. Go to the FX Bootcamp YouTube channel, and there's probably a playlist of 4 20-minute videos that just, right? And then you should really consider investing into your education. Okay. So anyways, weak dollar. Okay, great. That's not what's going on in the short run, right? So right now we have a trade plan, and it would not be ideal for you to just suddenly go, oh my God, look at CPI. I'm going to buy right at resistance, right where we've identified a potential sell. Right? So it's like if you were so bullish, you should have bought this dip or had it this way. Okay? One or the other. Buying this is just, dude, you're a loose cannon. Okay? If you want to buy this because of the good CPI, you'll probably have an opportunity, let's say tomorrow or later today, to buy something like this. Okay? That looks like someone who's in control, not someone chasing clouds. Okay? So right now, if you were buying, look, by the way, one of my points is, and maybe I'm not so subtle here, you end up buying it at exactly the same price. But here you're buying at resistance. Here you're buying at support. Which one do you want to base a career on? Oh, the CPI, the CPI. Don't worry about it, dude. When you've done this, when you're here every day, 10 hours a day for 20 years, don't worry about it, right? You're never going to miss anything. Okay? You got to pick when you want to be aggressive. Just because the CPI came out doesn't mean, I'd rather you be aggressive by saying, I'm a bull and I'm supporting this higher low. That's aggressive. Okay? But here's the thing. So let's say you buy in here and you see the 1, 2, 3 here. So you buy it there. You're not just crazy, right? And then you put your stop here. And you're risking this many pips. And that's what I mean by being aggressive. You're aggressively a bull. Okay? I don't mean aggressive like you're so bullish that you're going to wait for it to rise up into resistance and then buy it. That's not aggressive. That's foolish. Right? There's a big difference in your trading. Okay? So I would say bears are setting this up they're going to dump all over this. Why? It's resistance, bro. So if you're an aggressive bear and you were scalping, you could have a stop here. At some point, take a shot. Right? Now, wouldn't it be better if you kind of got this going first? Okay. But that's your prerogative. Where would where would you be challenged? You got to mark all that up. Here's another challenge point right here. So mark that up. So this could, your first trade plan would be sell up on the double top. There's your stop. Second trade plan, sell on the roll reversal there, and then your stop is the same. Okay. And then down here, take profit on both scalps. Pachow, pachow. Okay. In that case, you're looking for 20 on the first one. And 15 on the other, something like that. And you're only risking this amount of pips. Okay. Or you just walk away because you're like, okay, that's really good for the U.S. or well, it's good for the U.S. So that's going to weaken the U.S. dollar. So now you know what you're going to do tomorrow. Well, all these guys fight over their 20 pip moves. I smoked a 15-year-old cigar last night. It's all right. It was all right. It was how to describe it in the first part. Sort of I was going to describe it like dirty, but that's not. That doesn't sound right. And it wasn't dusty, but it wasn't like chocolatey. It wasn't oily. I wanted oily, and it wasn't oily. So whatever. I think it was not oily. Is what I guess is really what it was. And then it ended up burning fine, and it was nice, reasonable flavor and stuff. Okay, here's the bounce. Yeah. Venom, 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 venom. Venom, venom. Like, dude, really? Venom, 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 venom. Oh, not gonna bounce, huh? Look at all these guys. So everyone that chased CPI just lost money. You see that? Everyone that bought CPI just lost money. Think about that. Yeah, it's not necessarily being smarter than everybody else. It's being tougher. That's why the one that does the work, the one that does the research, the one that has a solid bias, the one that's clearly uses technical analysis to identify proper prices and patterns, the one that gets out where they're supposed to, the one that gets in where they're supposed to. It's about being an adult. Your yellow dreams of a yellow Lamborghini are not going to carry you far as a professional. Right? I mean, imagine putting that on your Harvard application. I just know I'm going to drive a yellow Lamborghini someday. And, you know, gosh darn it, I deserve it. All right? Why do you want to be in Harvard Law? I really need a yellow Lambo. I mean, it's so silly. Do you know how you get into Harvard Law School or Harvard Medical School or Harvard College, Harvard Business School? Because you get the work done when 95% of people cannot. You know what I mean? That's what it is. These people are grinders. You go to Harvard Law School, it's like walking into a 5-star hotel. And I am not joking. You walk in, you should see these guys in Harvard Law School. You should see them. You're just like, oh, these guys are the best. I'm not joking. They're like angels. It's so funny. You walk in, you're like, I'm not supposed to be here. And you look at like the kids, right? Because they're older. They're not kids anymore. But you see them debating in these the classrooms are beautiful. The building is beautiful. The study areas are beautiful. It's so beautiful. And then the people come out and they're like, oh my God, they're beautiful people. And they're like carrying books, and you can see in their eyes, they know what they're doing. And these guys are ball breakers. You know, every one of them are hardworking, incredibly smart ball breakers. Being rich ain't enough, right? Being rich ain't enough. It certainly helps, but being rich isn't enough. You know, the secret to their success is that they grind through the work and they never flake. But that's what I've been talking about for all these years. And I guess I'll wrap up with this, but in my old house, above my office, I had 2 French doors into my office, and above it was this, beautiful molding and stuff above the door. And I was going to have someone carve in Latin, the work will set you free. And I read that somewhere, and I couldn't remember where, but I was thinking about Forex, like what makes you successful? And I'm like, it's doing the work. You don't want to find a way around the work. You're not looking for shortcuts, right? The work is what makes you successful. So I'm calling around. I'm trying to find someone that could actually carve this. And then I'm making phone calls and stuff. Hey, can you carve this in Latin? I'm looking it up. How do you spell that in Latin and all that kind of stuff? And then I find out where it's from. Does anyone know where it's from? There's gates, and it says the work will set you free. Auschwitz. And I'm like, oh, that would be the worst epic fail ever, right? Hey, David, Joseph, what do you think of my new office? Like, oh, shizer. Oh, my God. So anyways, I'm like, no, that I don't want that carved above the door of my office. But no kidding, I made phone calls. Look at me, I'm crying. I made phone calls and stuff. Gee whiz. So, oh, look, there's a bounce, there's a sell. Nice, second trade. So anyways, yeah, it was almost an epic fail for sure. But the idea was that the more you want to do the work, the more successful you're going to be. And the more you look for the yellow Lamborghini, the more you're fooling yourself. Sure, you can buy a yellow Lamborghini, so what? I had my credit card company call me up a couple years ago. And they're like, if you spend a little bit more on your credit card, we will give you a lease on a Lamborghini Gallardo for free. Like, you don't even have to pay money to drive a Gallardo. But I'd rather die than drive a Gallardo. I said, who do you think I am, a Gallardo? The only thing worse than a Lamborghini Gallardo is a Ferrari California. Like, those are the two cars I'd rather crush than drive. California? What the hell? Looks like a Corvette from Italy. If I wanted a Corvette, I'd buy a Corvette. Right? So anyways, yeah. Do the work. And here's the thing. You won't have time to drive your yellow Lamborghini anyways. Yeah, DB9s. Yeah, they're not that expensive. So anyways, I gotta go, kids. This was great. Tomorrow's Thursday. I'll be here for you. I'll be here for you if you want me to. So what do you think? Scalping's pretty easy, huh? First trade, second trade. Hope we hit target. Pimped out golf cart. Yeah. Yeah, 65K for a high-end car is nothing, right? It's not like I'm like, oh, you should go buy, I mean, even a Mercedes, a nice Mercedes was what, 150 to 200? A nice Porsche is 200, right? So I'm like, you can get a nice DB9 for 65? Like, that's a nice car for 65. Any Aston Martin, I mean, you're going to get used for like 65 grand. And they look really nice. Like, I was looking at like Porsche Panameras, they're 150, right? So you're like, well, if you say, look, a DB9 is just as nice than a Porsche Panamera. And like, I don't even like Porsche Panameras. I don't think they're good looking cars, but they serve a lot of needs. You can put a family in the back seat. You can carry a couple of sets of golf clubs. I mean, it's just utilitarian to me, right? But if someone came along and said, well, that DB9 is 10 times nicer than a Porsche Panamera, I'll say, yeah, well, it's 1/3 the cost, right? So get a DB9 too. Audis are nice. Yeah, my mechanic said never buy an Audis. Like, they're beautiful cars. They run great. But if I have to work on it, if I have to service it, it's going to be 2 or 3 times more money. And he's like, it's just the way they make them. They shove everything in tight. So if I have to change something, I have to pull this off and that off and that off just to get to this thing. Then I change that, and then I have to put it back on and back on and back on. So if you had a Porsche, it'd be $300. If it's an Audi, it's $1,000. Same service, right? So yeah, but I don't have a car. I just don't have a car. Like, why? I don't need a car. I don't know. Who needs for a car, right? Greg owned a shop for 10 years. Okay, you got it. So I hope you're okay with Porsche. Yeah, and that's all they did. They changed that, right? So all they did was, yeah, VW did that for sure. They're just like, well, the upscale model, right? If you don't like a Touareg, like, dude, what? An $80,000 BMW or an $80,000 VW? You're like, really? A Touareg? 80,000? They're like, oh, well, for 120, we'll put an Audi sticker on it. So, anyways. Look how long this 1 minute chart takes, huh? Yeah. Well, I had an AMG 55. The whole car was made in the AMG shop. The only thing Mercedes on it was the frame. So one time I'm driving, and all of a sudden it was stuck in like, I could only do second and third. It was weird. It wasn't a first, and I couldn't do high end. So I call them up, and they're like, oh, bring it in. So I bring it in. First of all, I have to have it like flat bedded in. So I take it in, and they're like, oh, well, what do they call them? Our technician believes it's one of the computer chips in your transmission. I'm like, great, good, fix it. Like, well, it's not that easy. We can only get the part from Germany. And we have to request the part from Germany. Mercedes might deny it. So here's the process. We have to pay, or you have to pay a second technician to come through and re-diagnose the problem. And if he comes up with the same issue that he thinks it's the computer chip as the first one, if they both agree, then we're going to send the request to AMG in Germany. And the AMG people will have a committee meeting. And I'm not shitting you on this one. A committee meeting. They'll analyze the data pulled from the two technicians. And if they agree it's the computer chip, they will mail it to us. And then we will get it, and then we will install it into your transmission. Anybody think that was cheap? I spent, no joke, $1 per mile on maintenance on this handmade car. Unbelievable car. Completely handmade in AMG. But $1 per mile in maintenance, that's more than you pay in gas. So anyways, you better get good at scalping, right? If you're going to have a car like that. So anyways, we're just going to sit here for hours watching these trades. But, you know, there's trade one, there's trade two. I hope we hit target. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. And what? Will you be here tomorrow? Will you please subscribe? Huh? Over here? Subscribe, please. Like. Can we get likes? Look, like 1,000 people watch these videos every day, and like 100 people. 90% of people don't like it. Stop being a lurker. Click the stupid like button. It takes less than a second. Click it. Just click like. I mean, come on. Gee whiz. 2 hours and you don't have 1 second? Kick down and come clean. Don't be a holdout machine. And then, of course, if you're watching a video, leave a comment. Even if you were here live, leave a comment. Just say thank you. Just let me know you're live. Let me know you care. Right? Right? Cool. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. I appreciate you and the work you're doing. See you.